What is good, yo? It's your boy Ty back here with another video. And in this video today, guys, we're going to be going over 5 tips and tricks for you guys to make easy MT in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM. And I would say this is more so on in the long run how you're going to see your MT slowly, gradually rise, compared to the alternative of, oh, I'm gonna log on for one day and my MT is gonna go up 200,000 MT. Okay, so these are the tips and tricks that I personally have used. Now the first tip and trick I have to do has to do with the card grading system. Now with this, you want to be smart with what you do. If I was to grade, let's say this Wilt Chamberlain, he would cost me 12,500 MT if I was to grade 1 card. Now, if I was to grade 5 cards, I could grade Wilt, and let's just, I'm gonna, for the sake of this video, throw in a bunch of golds. So it's cheaper to grade 10 cards with a bunch of golds in the same Wilt Chamberlain than to grade 1 diamond. So if you want to grade a diamond, I would automatically grade 10 cards. Now the golds and the cards you want to grade are cards that can be sold. So you see that MT sticker. All my diamonds outside of Michael Jordan can't be sold. So is there a point of grading them? No, you don't get extra MT in game for using them like you did in the past. There's really no point to grade them. Even this Hakeem, you guys might be like, oh, he might be worth you grading. Well, the only reason he would be worth me grading is if I pull the duplicate Hakeem Olajuwon, which I mean, I doubt will happen. So because he's locked into the cooking set. So there's really no point of me even grading him. Any card that you guys have that's unauctionable or locked in a set, I wouldn't grade. Any Ambi that is auctionable, like my Boncaro, I would grade. I graded Lowry Marketing as well. I did sell him because he came back a 7 and I had graded him 3 times and I was just annoyed. But I sold him as well. Now, what is the big difference that you guys are going to notice with graded cards? Well, their MT slowly rises. Now, a 9 compared to a 7, I didn't, I guess, sell my Lowry. They're going to just slowly go up in price. So he's basically worth 7,000 MT more than a Lowry. But if cards get like a 9.75 or a 10, that's really where you're going to notice the MT rise. Even for Gold Series 1 players, all of my auctionable ones I have graded. Why? Because again, they're just worth that little bit more MT. But even if I pull a duplicate Brunson now, instead of him being worth, I don't know, 2,000 MT, he's worth a little bit more. He's not graded that well. But even for, you know, this type of a gold in Cam Johnson, he's worth 1,600 MT instead of, I think, 900 MT. So that's just the one thing to kind of think about with grading cards. If you do pull a good card, I would grade them, and I would grade them with a bunch of auctionable golds as well in case you pull duplicates. That way you can exchange them and sell them. My number 2 on how to make MT in MyTEAM is your exhibitions. This one is the most important one in the entire game. Every day at 11 Eastern time in the morning, these things will reset. Now, I'll just open this one to showcase what I got. 1,100 MT. That's pretty average for the exhibitions. Not necessarily great, but not bad. You basically get 5 of those per day. Now, sometimes you'll pull Sapphire prize balls, and out of those, you're going to get on average like 3,500 MT. So on average, from my exhibitions, I would say I make 4,000 to 5,000 MT per day. You guys might not think that's a big deal, but 60 days into the game, basically, or not 60 days in, that's bad math. Let's say we're 50 days into the game. You take that times 5,000, that's 250,000 MT. 200, and this is for literally free. Now, on my No Money Spent, I don't have nearly as many cards, so there's certain things I can't do, like some ask for a 2K day Ruby, and I don't have that. And so if you can't do the exhibitions, that's okay. But if you can do the exhibitions, do every one you can. Even if it's right before you log off the game, do every exhibition you can. It's going to be worth it in the long run, because if you pull a Sapphire prize ball, that is going to go for a lot of MT, and that can't just be looked around. You guys have to take that into consideration, which brings me to number 3. Exhibitions, I think, are super valuable. It's even worth buying some golds for them. My number 3 has everything to do with prize balls, because I was messing up prize balls the other day. It got to a point where I was like, okay, prize balls are only relevant in like MyTEAM Unlimited. Why? Because you have different lineups. So make sure if you go into a triple threat offline game that your prize ball is equipped. because that's what I was having wrong. With all my different lineups, I'd have a prize ball equipped in my 13-man lineup, but not in my 3-man lineup. And so I wasn't getting the prize ball crack after the quickest triple threat offline game, and I'd have to go into unlimited to do it. So make sure if you pull a Sapphire or Ruby or Ami, any prize ball, that it is in your lineup and equipped. Because the one thing I will say is, you do not want to get duplicate prize balls in the exhibitions. I've gotten tons of duplicate prize balls because I was messing things up. I wasn't cracking as many prize balls as I initially should have. Exhibitions and prize balls are, in my opinion, the two most important things to master when it comes down to making MT. Number 4, using the player market wisely. Now, I've made a couple of videos talking about this, but it's not just grading cards. It's buying cards that you can eventually resell. So, for example, when Michael Jordan came out, he was 272,000 MT. And the reason I bought Michael Jordan is because of this. When he came out, you could grind a challenge to immediately get 50,000 of that MT back via the agendas. So then I graded him. He came back at 9.25, which is decent enough. So then I'm looking at MJ, and I'm basically renting him out for like 75,000 MT for 3 weeks. That's the way you gotta look at it if they put good deals in the game. Even, for example, when the deal of the day, when the player market was Vince Carter. On my No Money Spent Squad series, he graded out pretty well, and we bought him for like 70-some thousand, sold him for 60-some thousand, maybe 70,000. You lost 10,000 MT, but you rented him for a couple of weeks. So that's the one thing I would pay attention to. Even Levine in the player market the other day was like 70-some thousand MT. That's not the worst case scenario. The problem with Levine is he's going to go down by 7,000 MT this week, so that's the one thing I would encourage you guys to consider before buying a guy like Zach LaVine in the player market. But that's something to just keep on your guys' radar. Is the deal of the day, and is who comes out in content. Because let's say Bron has the same thing as MJ this week, and he comes out, and you can get a LeBron James diamond, and let's say he's 272,000 MT, but then you can grade him, and let's say there is an agenda for 50,000 MT. That's a way better deal than locking in for like a Kawhi Leonard, locking in for like a Steph Curry. That's just a way better deal. So don't lock in sets, guys. Be smart with your MT. Instead, if you see a player you really want in the player market, heck, even Jaren Jackson Jr., if you didn't pull him, he's 112,000 MT. Okay, that's a decently expensive, but he's the best power forward in the game, probably. So let's say you didn't get Jaren for free like I did, and you had to buy him. If you grade him out a 9, you can get 54,000 MT back, plus that MT is not going to go down for 4 weeks. So then it's basically a 50,000 MT for 4-week rental. Now, yes, you're going to eventually lose a lot of MT if you do that with every single position, but if you picked up MJ and picked up Jaren, and they both graded out decent, you're going to lose basically 100,000 MT, and you got the best shooting guard and best power forward in the game. That's not the worst case scenario, especially if you can use them for my number 5, which is by playing the game. That is how you're going to make MT. Let's say you got MJ, you got Boncaro, and you play the game for 3 hours. You're going to get more than half of that MT you just spent back, and you're probably going to enjoy playing the game with some new cards. Now, what is the most rewarding mode to play? For me personally, it's probably salary cap. That's where I get 4,000, I think it's 4,200 per game, and I get through games in like 13, 14 minutes. So for me specifically, plus I get a wheel spin, it's easy to do. I don't match very many sweats. I'm getting at the minimum 20,000 MT per hour. Plus you get rewarded as you go up the ranks. And so for me, that's probably the most worth it mode to play. If you're not very good at the game, I would focus on domination, triple threat, or clutch time, and just play the game and have fun with it. Triple threat offline, for example. On average, you're probably gonna make 100 or 1,000 MT per game. You get through, I don't know, 15, 17 games per hour. Again, not bad MT per hour, as well as you go up the ranks, you are going to get decently rewarded. Look, even completing these simple challenges I did last season, I'll probably do this season, I think is worth it. You look at this skills challenge for the NBA's back set. You get a free NBA is back card, you get a badge, and all you gotta do is win the game to 21 points. Easy, simple, 5-minute challenge. You can knock that out. Spotlights, grind these out. A lot of MT to be redeemed there. And then these as well. Plenty of MT as well as a lift off deluxe pack in there as well. You guys might not think it makes the biggest deal, but for me, even personally, I'll probably grind these out today. I've grinded level 40. I'm getting closer to SGA, but I need to grind these lift ups. They don't expire until the end of the season, I don't think, but they are worth grinding for you guys as well. Everything in my team is really revolved around playing the game. But to play the game, you got to have fun with playing the game. And so I'm a fan, if you want to spend NC, do it on players you can eventually resell. That is one thing I strongly do advise and recommend for you guys. That's going to wrap it up for our video today, guys. Hopefully each and every you guys did enjoy it. Drop a like on it, subscribe if you're new, and as always, man, I love you guys, and have a blessed day.